everybody. Welcome back to reviews for Power Rangers The Audio Drama, Episode 8, Fall of the Dragon. Now, the last episode, Episode 7, ended with Rita sending out pretty much all her forces to the command center, with Goldar, Tommy, and Scorpina, of course, being in charge of all this. Well, the main fights to focus on this one, because it's full of lovely fights and a lot of emotional ups and downs that we'll get into. This episode was very well written and a nice surprise at the end. This one almost could have been a season finale. That's how good this episode was and how impactful the ending was. But there's still 4 more episodes to go. And each episode gets pretty much better as it goes. Well, the overall storyline gets better as it goes, so I say. Well, your main fights is you have Tommy in a Dragon Zord fighting Jason in a T-Rex Zord. Yeah, they got beef, but they're the ones mainly fighting it out. Then on the ground, you have all the Rangers pretty much taking on putties and other foot soldiers. I'm not sure who the Golden Warriors are referring to. It might be something from Sentai that I've missed, because I haven't really finished it. But they have golden armor, so I'm assuming they're part of the forces that Goldar and his wife Scorpina had that went with them on the ship. Well, Goldar and Zack has a decent fight in this scene. Well, this episode, not scene. But, Goldar gets his butt handed to him at one point, and it happens so Scorpina and Kimberly can both see it as they're fighting. Well, Scorpina's giving Kimberly beef, still trying to get into her head about what she did to Tommy. Well, Kimberly does something kind of smart. Sorry for that noise. My cat just knocked something over. And she keeps Scorpina talking to the point where Goldar tries to come and help her against Kimberly. And, well, he finds out what Scorpina did. Now, granted, Scorpina, being a true villain, tries to lie about it. And Kimberly brings up a good point to Goldar. I'm your enemy. I have nothing to gain about you finding out about this. I have nothing to gain for me telling you what she did to Tommy. Well, Goldar is, of course, mad. And now the forces they had with them at the time, except for Tommy, who's still fighting Jason, pretty much has fallen. And the other Rangers come up to surround Goldar and Scorpina with Kimberly. And Goldar reveals that the fight's not over and has more forces teleported in, which is pretty much the remaining forces, except for like the guards that stay on the ship, and those who operate the ship, like the mechanics, the flight crew, yada yada yada. Well, while this is going on, we have Alpha and Kimberly's dad in the command center doing everything they can to bring Zordon back online. because in this Ranger universe, Zordon is not an entity stuck in a time warp that can be projected in the tube. Or he's more like the 2017 movie to an extent, where he is in a computer. But his face is being shown in the tube. So he's, you can say, like an advanced AI with the soul of Zordon. I think that's a cool way of saying it, or a good way of saying it, because he is sentient, but he is computer data. Well, they get them back online, or they get Zordon back online as the new forces arrive. Zordon realizes Kimberly's dad's there, and then he sees that desperate time calls for desperate measures, and sometimes rules can be broken. So no Rangers are punished for revealing their identity to him, which comes to play later on, but there's still no remorse, like not remorse, no punishment for it happening. But Zordon calls the Ranger, or communicates to the Rangers that they need to call upon their Zords, even though they are still partially, well, they're still damaged from the beatdown Tommy put on them with his Dragon Zord. But it was enough still to make the Megazord for them to be safe. So they form the Megazord, they take out the remaining forces, and they're in an epic fight with the Dragon Zord. Well, it gets to the point Scorpina realizes they're about to lose, and is talking to her husband, Goldar, about they just need to leave. And she's not mentioning, or meaning to go back to the ship. She means to leave, hide. Goldar forces her to talk about what happened with her and Tommy. She admits it happens. Well, Goldar punishes her by basically just knocking her out with the back end of his sword, the blunt end, and leaves her on the ground as he and whatever scattered forces that have survived teleport out. And the Megazord pretty much defeats the Dragon Zord. And Tommy jumps out and is yelling at them to come fight him face to face, to leave the Megazord. But he mainly wants Jason. Well, Jason comes down and finds a way to end up knocking him out. They go all back to the command center, and somewhere along the lines, it's not mentioned, Scorpina is captured by them also and is locked up in their jail. Well, they undo Tommy's brainwashing, at least the chip, and Kimberly's trying to comfort him the whole time when he comes to. And Tommy is fully self-loathing at this point. Like, full on, I can't believe I've done this. Because he is still aware and has knowledge of every single thing he did. From the time he woke up off the table in Rita's ship. And I'm going long, so I'm going to have to pause for YouTube, for TikTok, and carry back on for YouTube, which TikTok's got to get a second dose on this one because of all the emotions that go through this episode. I don't remember if I said it, but it was a 46-minute episode. But when you listen to it and you're not paying attention to the time, you definitely feel like you got an hour-long episode. In a good way. Well, if you had commercials on regular TV, it'd be about an hour and a half-ish. Because of the footage. But everyone's trying to comfort him. Jason even's like, dude, I forgive you. We're sorry. We had beef like that. And Tommy, being at that self-loathing point, really lets Jason have it. For the fact that, dude, your suit was greener than... Oh, sorry, not your suit. You were greener than my suit. And basically saying that all Jason wanted was for Tommy to break up with Kimberly, or Kimberly break up with him, so he could have Kimberly. Well, Jason does his best to apologize. Tommy doesn't want anything to do with it. He doesn't want to do anything with the Rangers or him having the power. To the point where after he goes home, he's trying to throw his coin away. Like, I forget what movie it is, but basically the person was like trying to throw it away and it like sticks to his hand. He thinks he throws it, but then it's on the back of his hand or whatever the item was he was throwing. I kind of pictured that a little bit in my head, but it was well written that every time Tommy went to go throw it, his hand would stop. He couldn't let go of it to make the throw. So it wasn't silly or anything like that because it has this heightened emotion to it. And deep down on his subconscious level, it tells him he needs to keep the coin. He needs to keep the power because there may be something else coming. And in the command center, Kimberly's dad let Zordon have it. Like I said, this episode is full of emotion. From the hype of the fights to personal levels of self-loathing, the not really hating Zordon, but the anger at Zordon for doing right in what he thought was the wrong way. As in Kimberly's dad thinking Zordon handled the teenagers, the young adults, because they're 17, 18 at this. They're all 17 and 18. And he gets to the point, he grabs Kimberly's communicator, or teleportation watch, not communicator, wrong universe, because they use their cell phones. He grabs her teleportation watch and her morpher with the power coin in it, throws it down at Zordon. Now, me being a dad, I can understand this feeling because watching your child be in danger is bad. It hurts. But at the same time, watching them be in danger for a good reason, it still hurts. Now, my kiddos don't really have that, thankfully. So I don't have to worry about that until my oldest goes to the Air Force like he wants to, which will be 4 to 5 years if he still plans to go that route. It scares me to death, but I love him, and it's for the good, so I can overlook it. Me being scared, that is. And I support him all the way. But he pretty much pulls Kimberly out to the portation pods so Alpha can send them home. And at this time, Zordon is pleading with him, please don't. Rita might be defeated at this moment, but there's worse to come. Because her boss, Lord Zed, wants the power coins and will do nothing to stop. Well, nothing. Sorry, I just went blank for a second. And he would do any and everything to get it. Well, after Kimberly's dad's pretty much like, I'm done, I don't care, she's done. Look for another ranger. Foreshadowing. And leaves. Zordon tells the other rangers, take it easy, rest, relax, enjoy this time while you have it. And they all go home. Well, back on the Repulsa, Goldar and Rita Pandora gets into it. Like I said, a lot of emotion in this episode. And Rita is at the point she's about to kill Goldar. Until somebody makes a call. And what he says to do, outside of Goldar now in command and to lock Rita up, shows how evil this man is. Not like end of season 2 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and season 3 when he's like the butt of the joke, thanks to moms. Not my mom, but if you know, you know. This is first appearance scary Lord Zed that the moms wanted him banned from the show for. Plus. Well, you've got to listen to the episode to find out what he tells them to do. Because it is pure evil. But at the same time, on the evil scale, it's the smart thing to do. Which will play a part in the next 4 episodes. So, side note, before I stop this all. Trying to play around with my background a little bit. It is my son's bed. He doesn't like sleeping in it. He'd rather sleep on the couch or on the floor in a pillow and blanket pad. But yes, he does sleep in his bed when we talk him into it. But I'm just trying things out with the background. Also thinking about doing a review on These Lovely Dudes by Imaginext. It's sad Hasbro didn't let them carry on with the toy line, but I got some things going on to help add more videos when I'm capable of doing them. And I thank you all for support, and can't wait to hear from y'all in the comments. Later.